And our next thing we have is okay, so Martin Scorsese came out and had an opinion about some comic book movies. He doesn't watch comic book movies. Martin Scorsese, I think, is like one of the top five, if not top three, best directors living right now. And it's probably of all time. Like, if there was a Mount Rushmore of film directors, he's on that Mount Rushmore. I'm looking very forward to The Irishman. I think that movie looks great just from the trailers alone. It's going to be a fucking 4 hour long movie. I cannot wait for that movie to come out on Netflix. So besides that, I think The Wolf of Wall Street is amazing. Oh my God, he's such a good director. Like, no joke. And when he came out and said these certain things about comic book movies not being real cinema, I was like, okay, why do you think that though? And he just said it like comic book movies are more of like a theme park type of deal than they are actual like movies, like dramas, obviously. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can understand that. I can respect that kind of view. But on the flip side of that, he doesn't watch comic book movies. He actually legit said in this quote of his that he doesn't watch them. He says he tried, but he just can't. So he doesn't watch them. So you're being a hypocrite. Because there was a time, because James Gunn came out and tweeted out about how, I forget which movie he was referring to, a Martin Scorsese movie, but there was a lot of people coming out and talking about how they didn't like a certain Martin Scorsese movie because of some stupid fucking reason, but a lot of these people who were talking about this BS never saw the movie. And James Gunn was offended by that because how can you talk in criticism of a movie if you've never saw it? So I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then Martin Scorsese is coming out here who doesn't watch comic book movies criticizing comic book movies. What? I can understand if you watch like the whole MCU or if you've watched just like a good amount of comic book movies. You don't need to watch the whole MCU or something like that to be a critic of these comic book movies. You could watch it like a good handful. You could have watched like maybe the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. You could have watched Dark Knight, Logan, all these other, Marvel movies. And it's just like, but you don't have an opinion because you can't have an opinion about these if you've never watched them. That's just how these things work, Martin. So, that like kind of like threw me off a little bit because I hate hearing news, like negative news about certain people that I love. I love Martin Scorsese. I love Steven Spielberg. Just like how I think when Steven Spielberg came out and talked about how Rotten Tomatoes ruins the film industry. And that pissed me off because I was like, listen, we need Rotten Tomatoes. Because I think Rotten Tomatoes is a great source of information when it comes to movies. Because I'm a digress if I get into this, but real quick, I think Rotten Tomatoes is a great source when you want to understand what movies you want to go see in theaters that are out right now. If I am looking forward to a movie and it has like a 3% or like a 15 or 20, I'm not going to go see it. I'm just not going to do it. Why? Almost everybody else thinks it's horrible, especially the critics who know better because that's their job is to critique movies. So I would go based off of them. But the thing is, though, sometimes they're not always, I feel like in my mind, always right. I feel like sometimes I go more towards the audience score than I do with the critic score. Like I feel like with The Last Jedi here, the critic score is at like a 90 some odd percent while the audience scores at like a 50 or something like that. So I agree with the critics. I don't agree with the audience. But there are other movies like with, I'm trying to think here. Here's a good idea. I've never seen the movie, so I can't say anything, but it's a good, I think, example. Venom came out. Didn't get that many good critic reviews, but it got amazing audience reviews. And I think if I'd watch it, I'd probably like the movie. So that's like sometimes right there where the audience, I feel like, is right sometimes, while sometimes I don't agree with the critics. Like I feel like the remake or the reboot or the sequel / reboot movie of The Ring, that came out like a couple years ago got like it's like a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think the movie is actually really fucking good. Granted, I think the female lead in the movie is like a wooden plank. She was horrible in that movie. But besides that, overall, really good movie. I think the critics were wrong in that point. It goes back to the whole point. There are certain things that some of the favorite people I love in Hollywood say dumb shit. So when I heard these comments that Martin Scorsese had about the comic book movie genre, I was like, come on, man. Like, really? You had to be that guy. And your comments don't make any sense because you've never seen these movies. So, whatever. But moving on. That's my thought about it. So, I think he's being a big hypocrite about that. So in the world of Michael Bay came out with a new trailer for this new Netflix movie called Underground 6, some shit like that, starring Ryan Reynolds. And I saw the trailer. Just want to give you my thoughts on the trailer for a couple seconds here. I thought it was okay. Looked all right. Looked ideal for a Netflix movie. There's a lot of people talking about how this like should have actually been released in theaters, and I'm just like, I don't know about all that, because it sucks. Because the thing is, like, I love Ryan Reynolds. I adore his movies, not all of them, because he does a lot of shitty movies. That's my whole point here. Is that whenever I see a movie with Ryan Reynolds in it, I'm very skeptical, because I hate to say this, but almost like 7 out of 10 times they're bad. But beyond that, I think he's a great actor. I don't think he is the problem. He's not the problem in these movies. It's the movies surrounding Ryan Reynolds is the problem. Like, I heard, like, when Green Lantern came out, I heard he was great in it, but the movie sucked. Deadpool, great movie, great actor. There's other movies that he's definitely been a part of that I think, what's the other movie? Hitman's Bodyguard. I actually think it's a good movie. Didn't get that many good critic ratings, but I thought, in my opinion, it was a really good movie. I'd actually like to see a sequel to Hitman's Bodyguard. I think they're actually doing a sequel. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they actually are. I think that'd be really cool if we are getting one. He is going to be in the future. I think he's going to be in the future Fast and Furious movies in regards of Hobbs and Shaw. I hope gets a sequel. I think they made enough money for a sequel, so I think that'd be really cool. So when I saw the movie trailer with Ryan Reynolds, 6 Underground, I was like, okay, it looks like a typical action movie, whatever. It has Michael Bay directing. Michael Bay has made some decently good movies. The Rock, Transformers, the first Transformers movie. Yeah, keep in mind. The first 2 Bad Boys movies, I think those were really good. But besides that, I don't think he has a lot of good movies under his belt, too, like the rest of the Transformers movies. But besides that, I'm looking forward to it. I hope when it comes out on Netflix, I'll definitely watch it when it comes out, and I'll review it for you guys. I'll tell you my thoughts on it when it comes out, and let's hope it's good, because we never want a movie to be bad, which is what boggles my mind when people think that when certain movies come out, they hope this movie's bad, like DC movies or something like that, or like they hope these movies are bad or something like that, so that way Marvel's winning or something. Like, why do you want a movie to be bad? That boggles my mind, because if you want this movie to be bad, you're just wasting 2 hours on average at a time watching these movies that you hope are bad. That makes no sense to me. Why? It makes no, why do you want to waste 2 hours of your time? I don't want to waste 2 hours of my time. Time is valuable. Time is money. And I don't like wasting my time. So I think it's really dumb when people think they want movies to be bad. I don't want 6 Underground to be bad, because if I'm going to watch it, I want it to be good. So, I mean, if it's bad, it's bad. Whatever. I love movies. I'm going to watch them regardless. So if a movie's bad, it's whatever. I think, it's whatever. But hey, there are some movies that are so bad that they're good, like The Room, or, Batman and Robin. Those are the kind of movies that, even though they're bad, they're fun to watch because they're so stupid. Even like Spider-Man 3 is bad. It's so bad it's good, but you can even make an argument that Spider-Man 3 is an actual good movie if you take out the bad scenes in the movie. Now, you can say that about a lot of bad movies, but I think Spider-Man 3, you can make an argument that it's just a legit good movie. But you can also make the argument that it's just so bad that it's good. You know what I mean. So, moving on, just get my little thoughts on 6 Underground. We had another movie trailer come out, Birds of Prey, starring Margot Robbie. Also, Ewan McGregor, who I think I completely forgot was going to be in this fucking movie. My thoughts on it. This movie looks fucking terrible. Oh my God. Let me put this right now. Let me tell you this right now. Suicide Squad, horrible movie. I thought it was a disaster. When you have Jai Courtney being one of your best actors in that movie, there's a fucking problem. I thought Will Smith, you know, like I said before earlier, I think he's genuinely a good actor. So I thought he was okay. He was really good in the movie. He was good as Deadshot. It's going to be sad that we're not going to see him in Suicide Squad 2 as Deadshot again, because I don't blame him for not doing it. But, you know, then this Harley Quinn movie coming out, the Birds of Prey, and I'm not going to say the whole fucking title. I don't even fucking remember what it's called, but Birds of Prey, the movie, just like, it was like her talking about, it's like, I don't need the Joker or Mr. J and stuff like that. Like, what, did he die? Like, and I don't know. I never read like any comics in regards to this particular story arc, I guess, if there is. I'm not a big DC comic book reader. I'm more of Marvel than anything. So if anybody can fill me in if this was actually ever an actual story arc in the comics of the Birds of Prey, let me know. That'd be pretty cool. But besides that, I think this movie just looks very boring. It's just, I don't think I'm going to see it when it comes out. I think it's going to get bad reviews because it just doesn't look good in my opinion. But besides that, I think it's whatever, man. I don't really want to get into it too much because just like, yeah. I think they should have just dropped that whole story, like, altogether. Like, I think they should have just rebooted the DC EU. Because after Batman vs. Superman, which I thought was terrible, and then Justice League, which I thought was mediocre at best, the only really good movies out of the DCEU as of right now is the first Wonder Woman movie, Shazam. I haven't seen Aquaman, but I've heard from my friend Zach that it's a great movie. And I've heard from other people that it's a great movie. Made over $1 billion. I think it's the only movie to make I think Batman vs. Superman made $1 billion. I don't think so. I can't remember. But regardless of that, how is it that Aquaman makes over $1 billion, but fucking Justice League can't? Justice League was supposed to be the Avengers, like, money making machine. Like, how the fuck do you have a movie with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, The Flash, Aquaman? Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. How do you have a movie with all those characters in there and it doesn't even break $1 million? I think in the end of it all, Doctor Strange made more money than fucking Justice League. So I really wish that they would have just rebooted the whole DCEU. You could have kept the same actors doing like their own solo movies. Like, I think Jason Momoa was a great casting choice for Aquaman. And I think Gal Gadot, while I was very skeptical at first of her being Wonder Woman, I felt like she did a really good job in the first Wonder Woman movie. I think that Wonder Woman is a great movie. I think it's a great movie, Wonder Woman. And I can't wait for the sequel. But besides that, Birds of Prey looks like trash. And I'm probably not going to see it unless it has like rave reviews when it comes out. So, moving on.